Yellow fever was by far one of the biggest issues in New Orleans. This is a city built on mud, which means there's a lot of rain and water, and a lot of standing water means mosquitoes. And mosquitoes in the 1800s meant death. Yellow fever is carried by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. I think that's how you say it. And it can survive. It's like the cockroach of mosquitoes. It can flourish in a single drop of water. So if you got yellow fever, you would jaundice, your skin would turn yellow. You would get body aches. People complain of really like lower back pain. You would get a really high fever. You get delirious. There is a 40 to 50% chance of death. So really good chance if you got it, you weren't going to live through it. If you were unacclimated, it was called. Acclimated meant you had lived through yellow fever. If you were unacclimated, you were almost unemployable. You could not get a job. People didn't want to invest in you as a worker if you were going to die in 1 or 2 summers. So, an Irish immigrant would come here, connect with another Irish person, and they might go roll around in somebody's bed who had yellow fever. Or they might go scoop up some of this black blood from a dead body and eat it, or put it in a syringe and inject it into their vein so that they could try to catch it, so they could try to live through it, so they could then be hireable and employable. It was a huge crisis. And it furthered the idea from slaveholders, because enslaved people seemed to be a little more immune. They had this idea, or that they were not as susceptible to getting yellow fever, and that it was more humanitarian for Black people to work in these really vulnerable positions in sugarcane fields, on levees, and upper class whites could kind of tuck away in their homes, that this was like a design by God. But you also can see slave market advertisements where they would try to get a higher profit by saying, this person has been acclimated. Oh, I'm going to sell this person for 25% more because they have lived through yellow fever and they're going to be a good worker.